This video is on competitive social security. Want to change from the current social security system to a competitive social security system where you have roughly 12 different choices of retirement systems from the government. So you just choose yours. So they're all going to be run differently. They have to have a minimum of making sure people are not becoming reliant on the state in their elderly years. So you have to have some type of savings and some type of system to do that. But you get to choose which one it is. So there's a lot of ways to do that. So let's keep on going through this. I'm doing a full series on the money part, the services, you're paying for services. And competitive social security is you're paying for services for financial planning, for retirement services. So we have the current government, which is a monopolized government. So when you have a monopolized government, you have one system to go with, and everybody has to go with that. Obviously, people can do additional retirement planning outside of social security, and that is wide open to a lot of companies and people doing very well with that. And a lot of people want that to be open for the full system. As long as they are paying for their retirement adequately with certain minimums, that's what they want to go with. And this allows many different systems like that. So let's keep on going. The monopolized government hires someone at a much lower compensation package to run the Federal Reserve, to run the Social Security Administration, to run all these government organizations. I guess the Federal Reserve is a little bit differently. Run the Social Security Department, the Medicare Department, and this same reform is for Medicare as well. You have 12 different medical retirement plans that can be out there. A lot going into the free enterprise system. Some same with the current system. Everybody gets a percentage of that budget depending on their members and their members' age and how much they contributed to in whole 9 yards. Anyway, the big point here is you're getting compensation packages, let's say a couple $100,000, where people in for the top dogs in the Social Security Administration, where CEOs of free enterprise, the big Charles Schwab CEO, when CEOs of all these other banks and investment houses, they're getting paid millions and millions. So they get paid 10, 20, 30 times more than the government employees. So where do you think the best people are going to be going? They're going to be going into the free enterprise companies because they want to make that money. Where does somebody who can't get those jobs go? Well, they go into the government system. Not saying that they're always worse, but money makes higher talent go to where they can make more money. So that's highly important. And then to have all these financial people, maybe it's not social security people regulating them, but it's other government employees making a couple $100,000 a year versus the CEOs that they're regulating making millions. So free enterprise finance CEOs have a very harsh policy. If they do not produce good results, they will be fired quickly, and they will be replaced with others with good track records, good proven successful track records. Big companies do not want they're not going to tolerate somebody having bad results long term. Those CEOs have to have a proven track record, work long hours, make sure they're doing the right type of things, and have proven success. Clients of free enterprise finance organizations also have that policy. You have good results, or we're going to take our money elsewhere. So it's very, very harsh policy where it's not very forgiving. You produce, or you're going to get fired, and being fired by the clients, meaning they're going to change services, which means you don't get their fees. Some finance organizations charge 1% but show 10% growth, while others charge 0.25%, so 1/4 as much, and they show 5% growth. Obviously, I'm not doing super good examples there, but just generally, the people that charge a little bit more will have better results. So what would you rather do? Pay 1% and have a 10% growth, or pay a 1/4% and have 5% growth? Most people will pay the 1% because the overall growth is better. It doesn't always go this way, but on long term, it's going to go in that direction most of the time. So every citizen gets to decide. Sometimes that 1% firm is going to have a bad year, and most likely people are going to get fired, and other people are going to take over and try to do it. But most people aren't going to put their money with the 1%, a higher fee organization, if they're not going to have a proven track record. But even somebody with a proven track record can have that bad year. But every citizen selects. That's a big issue. Social Security can have a bad year, but unless it's hard to fire those people, and you can't and the clients can't take their money out of the Social Security trust fund and stuff like that and move it other places. So that's the difference there. Some Social Security systems, so the competitive Social Securities, will have individual accounts that we see mostly in the we see almost all the time in the free enterprise system. Although when you do annuities, you're doing more of a group account. You have more of a group account, and then you get benefits from that, more defined benefits. That allows somebody not to outlive their money. So if you have two people who are at age 70, and you say the average is going to be 80 years old, so we're going to pay 10. So some people are going to die at 75. Their money all goes to the people who are going to live all the way to 85, 90 years old. And that's the way that annuities work. So both people's like, I don't want to outlive my money. So if I die at 75, I forgo all the rest of that money. Some people's like, well, I hope I live to 85, 90, but I don't want to outlive my money. So the annuities work for that. So, but some people want to have individual accounts. So everybody gets to select. So the Social Security, the current one, the monopolized, is more of a pool of money with an annuity. It acts more like that. So you can choose which one you want. Both are good. Now, the Social Security Department is going to say individual accounts. You have to account for people not living out doing their money. Insurance program, pools of money, different mechanisms to do that. There's a lot there. The basic rule is that each Social Security system needs policies that reduce people's chances of needing charity in their elderly years. They cannot be falling on this state saying, I'm poor, please take care of me. Now, you don't want to have such strict regulations that it's 100%, but you need that percentage very, very low so the charities can actually take care of the people who do fall through those cracks. Because you don't want to have such strict regulations that you take away people's liberties dramatically. But every Social Security system needs to have policies to reduce that chance. That line will be based on long-term results. Obviously, we have long-term results in the current system from outside of the Social Security. So we already have long-term results, so that can play a role. The rating system will play a role. The competitive Social Security rating system, which is a competitive rating system, you pick one that matches your philosophy, and they will rate. There'll be about a dozen different rating agencies dealing with that, and will determine some of the minimums. And then they will put a rating on each retirement system on how well they do, so people have really good information. They're not getting information just from the organization that wants your business, but they're getting 12 different independent rating agencies that combine to make one good number. There are a dozen ways to achieve those results. You can have children sign contracts saying, I'll be responsible for my parents. So maybe they don't have to have as much money built up, because you have children that's willing to be responsible. So there's a lot of issues. You can have maybe capital within the charity economy. If you don't know the charity economy, one of my reforms is going from welfare to charity. You can build capital up in the charity economy. There's a lot of issues there. A lot of ways to make this happen. I separate government into all 30 sectors. The sector that's going to be taking care of Social Security and have competitive governance in that is Sector 20, called insurance. But a lot of separate sectors are going to be involved in that, from the charity system to financial systems to maybe HR. There's a lot there. They're going to be it's going to be part of that. Obviously, Medicare is going to be in the healthcare sectors. There's two sectors there. Medicare Part A and Part B. It's healthcare. Is Sector 16, and then Part B, the medicine one, would be more like Sector 17. So all of it's accounted for. It's a full system. I don't say how we should regulate. I'm saying this overall structure to have regulatory bodies, competitive regulatory bodies out there. A lot more to see at Haley2024.org. Until the next video.